The Great Allentown Comic-Con Summer 2014. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The Great Allentown Comic-Con was held on July 12, 2014 at Merchant Square Mall in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I previously attended this convention in November 2013 and found it to be an interesting convention at a very interesting location. So let's see how they did this time. We'll start off with the good. Some things that were good were the registration line changes that they made. At first, when we got to the convention, there looked to be a very long line, but the moment you got to the entrance of the Merchant Square Mall, they moved the registration basically to the entrance. So it ended up being rather convenient, because when you got your reg, you basically went in and you were in the con and able to go through the mall, and it simplified things. The Merchant Square Mall itself is a very interesting mall. If you've ever seen the Dirt Mall from Mallrats, it's very similar to that. There's a bunch of nerd-oriented businesses. It's kind of like a flea market, so you never quite know what you're going to find in there. There's also a really awesome wrestling museum on the top floor. The Merchant Square Mall businesses were definitely behind the con this time. They offered some sales. The one place was 50% off. The other place was prices are negotiable. So it's nice to see the merchants definitely getting involved with the con. Now, in the dealer's room, if you knew what you were looking for, there were definitely some opportunities. I ended up picking up a whole bunch of G.I. Joe for a really good price. And you just really had to dig and you had to know what you were looking for. The guest list for a con of this size was rather decent. Austin St. John and Karen Ashley both played Power Rangers, and Nicholas Brendan was from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It seemed to help attract people to the convention. The cosplay also seemed better this time. Saw a lot of quality costumes that were just... It seemed like, compared to last time, there was a marked improvement. Not saying it was bad, but this time you could see some people, I don't want to say up their game, but you saw some really, really nice cosplay. Now let's move on to the bad section. One of the bad things of the convention was there was a lack of on-site food, and there was one place that essentially doubled as a snack bar, but at times the line did get long, and my friend and I who attended the convention actually, we kind of left because we got hungry and we didn't want to wait in line for food. We luckily found that one of the other businesses, the bid board, had a soda fountain, so at least we had something refreshing, but on-site food was kind of a letdown. So let's see what could have been better about the convention. For the ugly portion, these are things that could have been improved. Line organization needed to be worked on because they needed staff members at the end of the line. They also needed staff members kind of in the middle because they had separate lines for people who were pre-reg and for people paying by credit card. And if they would have had staff members basically, yelling to people about this or, shouting and telling, they could have better optimized the line. The Merchant Square Mall itself had a few issues, and this is something I've run into, my friends have run into. People don't entirely realize that, the mall itself is not the con. And what I mean by that is, some of the stores are just really awesome, and I've known people that spend more time in the stores than in the dealer's room with the con. It's kind of one of those odd things. And also another thing this time was the Merchant Square Mall was crowded and it was warm. At one point I did break out into a pretty serious sweat. I was just in the dealer's room and it got really, really warm in there. And in some ways the Comic-Con has outgrown this unique location, but there's not really any place to go in this part of Pennsylvania with adequate convention space. So one thing, I would have loved to take a lot more cosplay pictures, but the issue was there wasn't really any cosplay photo areas inside the mall. Now, outside there were. I come from anime fandom, so we're kind of trained to not block hallways. Unfortunately, there were times that the hallways did get blocked, and there just really wasn't anywhere to take nice pictures of the cosplay, which was kind of sad in some ways. And one thing, parking, a lot of people looking for parking spots towards the middle of the con. I'm not sure how to improve this, but it was a little messy. Overall, was it a perfect convention? No. But was it a unique convention? Yes. It was a fine convention with areas for improvement. The Merchant Square Mall is not an ideal location, but it gives the convention a lot of flavor. A lot of something different that I would recommend this convention to other people. Their next show is going to be November 15th and 16th, 2014. I believe a B- is a fair grade for this convention. Some of the things that make the Merchant Square Mall a unique location for a convention are unfortunately things that hurt the convention, and they could have used some better line management, and there's just not room for cosplay photos. Thanks for watching.